What's up, guys? My name is Andrew Stahlbush. I am a student at NC State University, currently studying sports management, and as part of one of my classes, I have to interview a professional of a career field I'm interested in, and I was fortunate enough to get an interview with Roley, the new director of football operations at State, and I just had to ask him some questions, kind of get a feel for the career. So here it is. So I just have roughly 20 questions to ask you.
Okay.
My first one, I understand you were a quarterback at Western Illinois, and
That's some research, huh?
a little bit, and then you spent some time in the Arena League.
Yeah.
How did that translate to becoming more on the logistics side or the director?
I don't know if it translates as much as it's an experience that you have, so you see that. So, I think that I don't think anyone can just jump into like more operations or logistics. It kind of has to be wired that way. So I've always been cognizant or see how things operate, and that always fascinates me. Like I'm more like when I go to a concert, I like watching the workers and how things run. That's just how I am. I went to the Susan C. Komen race a couple weeks ago, and I was fascinated about how you had thousands of people, and you had 3 different races. And I was kind of looking around just the signage and everything like that. So, not to say anyone can't, but I just think you're kind of when you get in that mindset, you start looking at things differently. And I think that when like playing experience and doing that little time I did in the Arena League, like you just how things operate and go, and I've always kind of like noticed it. So I think just I don't know if it prepared me as much as like because I don't think you need to have that experience. Sometimes it's better if you don't, but to come with things with a fresh perspective. But I think it gave me experience of I've traveled before and know how things should operate.
Is there anyone when you were younger that you looked up to, or that you?
This profession?
Yeah.
No. No. I mean, when you're younger, you want to be. I want to play. So
Okay.
I don't think this was it's not something you like grow up want to be. All through high school, your dream is to make it professional. That's what your dream is. And it kind of smacks you down. So you kind of, your ambitions and your dreams, they're all changing. They're always going, and your goals, and they got to be liquid. It's always changing because everything's different. Life changes, and even not professionally, but when you have a family and you have kids, everything changes a lot after that. Same thing if you get married, and everything just kind of keeps going. Your morals, your ethics, those are things your foundation never change, but everything else is kind of always moving.
So I guess once you figured out that you wanted to have a career in sports management, that side of things, how did you kind of get the ball rolling with that?
Well, when I got done playing football, and I knew that was done. You kind of come to realization, and then I never thought I wanted to be in sports. My dad was always a coach, and everyone around me was out in athletics. It's a total time commitment. It's working in athletics in general. It sucks a lot out of you. It's cool. The problem is it's in our blood, so it's like an addiction. Like you just love it. Like my day to day has just been blown up. Starting at 7 a.m. So it is just kind of like it keeps you sucked in. So when I was in school and I realized football, that career wasn't a path for me. I kind of sat there and go, I was getting a finance degree in business because I didn't think I wanted to be in sports, but then you get later to your college career in academics and you kind of like sit there and you kind of have these life things hit you and you go, I was like, well, I don't want to go work at a bank from 9 to 5. That's just not who I am. dad always told me that. He's like, you need to look at being a grad assistant working in sports. Like, I just don't want to do that life. But then like life starts coming and you go, you know, that's who I am. So things changed for me. Before my senior year in school playing, I just started telling my position coaches and things like that. That you know, because in sports you get 5 years to play, 4 years. They call it 5 for 4. But I was a walk on, and I wasn't playing. I was a third string quarterback, so I was like, I did 4 years. I enjoyed it, but then I wanted to be done with school and then go to grad school. So that was a transition in my life where I said, okay, this is what I want to pursue. And at first I thought I wanted to be a coach. And then I became a grad assistant, things like that. And I was coaching tight ends, and I enjoyed coaching, but there's different parts of that job. But, we have 10 of them that I don't want anything to do with anymore. Like, I do X's and O's, and I can understand it. I enjoy it. But I don't want anything to do with that. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy behind the scenes. I don't want to be any of that. So it's just as you progress, things change. First, I didn't want to do anything with athletics or football. Then I was like, okay, I want to coach. And I was like, I never want to coach. I want to do operations. Because I started realizing that's a career path that I have a knack for. So it just it ever changes. And it will change from what I'm doing now. It will change in years to come. So it's always kind of going like that.
It kind of segues into my next question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Someone else asked me that today. It's hard to say. I mean, it was a player who came and was like, "Are you doing your dream job?" And I go, "Well, I kind of am." It's hard to say that because you don't want to say like you reached anything. So that's when you probably got to sit there and go, maybe I need to reevaluate what my dreams are, or goals in 5 year and 10 year, even 1 year down the road, and see what those are. Because I didn't think I'd be, director of football operations right now. I didn't think I would hit that right now, so I kind of achieved that a little quicker. So that's cool. So now I gotta sit back and look at things. But kind of crazy thing about what we call DFOs, director of football operations. Typically, you don't see a lot of people retire in this position. By that I mean it's not. There are those guys. I'm not saying that, but it's just such a demanding role. I mean, my last text message last night I got from a player was 10:30 last night. My first text message is like 6:50 this morning. It's just, it can kind of get on you. It just never stops. So that's the kind of thing of it. So when I say that, just down the road, maybe more administrative type stuff. Because right now, operations we're doing day to day. So my main responsibility is all these player needs off the field. Okay. So right before you call me, a player calling about some financial issues. So boom, I'm trying to figure that out. Doing all these day to day things. So it'd be nice to step away more administrative where you're doing big picture stuff. How we control a budget and dissecting things and contracts and stuff like that. But probably need to re-look at all that. But probably what I would say right now.
So what does your average day look like?
Very chaotic. Even though I try to structure it, it becomes unstructured. And that's what I enjoy. I tell you what, it's very rare, but if I had a day where I'm free and I'm at my office and I'm working, it's never 9 to 5, but if that ever happened, I was uninterrupted and just very low key day. It's never like that. And that's kind of weird, almost bizarre, like something's wrong. Yeah. I thought the day was going to be like that because all the staff is supposed to be off. We're all supposed to be off today. So I was coming in to try to get a head start on tomorrow. That didn't happen. So my day never is consistent. My day is always sporadic. We have 100 in summer too. So June 25th, I think, well, the remainder of our team here says we'll be 117, 118 players on our roster at that time. So I'm dealing with 118 college kids issues, dorms, financial issues, academics of some sort, doing player development stuff, doing conduct issues. We're gonna have high school seniors that are now moving into the dorm by themselves with limited guidance on top of them, what they're not used to. So you're gonna have issues. It's their first time being away. Not having mom and dad in the house. They're just free. So how do you develop them into understand that hey, you're a college student now. You have responsibilities still. And at the same time, how do we, deal with the issues they're going to run into? So, at the same time, we got summer camps coming up, so those are a big deal for us. So, there's a lot going on. It's never ending, but we kind of keep our year just kind of flows into each other. Even though a lot of people say, "Oh, there's the football season," and I still get that. Well, what do you do in the off season? It must be nice. I don't know. I like the season better because it's structured and it's like consistent. On Mondays are always the same. On Tuesdays are always the same. When we get outside the season, it's totally different. It's just wham bam all over the place. So like right now we have 2 floors of construction going on in this building, and trying to catch up and make sure I'm on point on that. So and also getting ready for fall. Summer camps coming up, and then getting ready for these freshmen to move in next month. So there's a lot going on in the off season.
Okay. So when you're hiring staff, what kind of qualities do you look for?
Probably the biggest thing I always try to find out. Your typical things. Are you hardworking? Can you communicate? Your standard things, right? To check the boxes. The biggest quality I always try to find is, and that's the hardest thing, the questions I ask, and try to find these questions. I'm always asking people, how do you interview people? I want to find out if they're a problem solver. Like, that's my biggest thing. Because I feel like if you can problem solve, you can figure things out, a lot of other things. Because I'm not a smart guy by any means. I'm not. Struggled through high school, made through college, got a master's. Very proud of that because I'm not getting off the Richard Chase scales on anything. But I can, you give me something to do, I'm going to figure out how to do it. If I'm figuring out an efficient way to do it, I'm going to figure that thing out. And to me, that's the best spot. If I'm hiring somebody, I want to find someone like that because I'm going to give them a project and know they're going to knock it out. I don't want to give a project and have to, hold your hand through it. Oh, that's just wasting my time. Might as well do it myself. So that's my biggest thing. And usually in our world, in football, right, there's a limited number of jobs. Like I always say, my job, people say, I want to be doing football operations. Well, just think about somewhere else to go because if you gotta really love it, you gotta want to do it because there's like 130 Division I programs that all have a director of football operations, right? That's 130 jobs. That's it. Now there's smaller schools that have now it's become more popular than AA or FCS and things like that. Now there's a lot of people have assistants. There's 2 operations in the program, but still not every team. So the job, there's so limited amount of those. It's very competitive. It's incredible. So what separates people apart? So when we're hiring, a lot of it is recommendations we get in first off. The whole part of cold talking, here's a resume, we'll read through all those. It doesn't really happen. The first kind of round we go through is like, we have 10 coaches on the staff who all work in different places. They all know other people. So we have an opening, that's kind of the first round. Like, we want to know someone who's, Coach Huxtable's worked with a guy can say, love that guy. And if we trust Coach Huxtable's opinion, boom, okay. Well, he's in the mix now. And then you try to find out these other things. So like hardworking and all this other stuff. Can he do the job? That's like, yes. But like to me, my biggest thing is I got to find out. And there's the questions I ask, the situations I kind of put them in the questions. Like I want to figure out if they can figure things out, and that's my biggest thing. And I want to find other tools he brings to the table. Duplicating me doesn't help me. I want to find someone who has other skills. Like I had an intern, I challenged her. I was like, U.S. squad. I was like, cool, you're hard working on that. What separates you? What is it? I don't know. I challenged her. I was like, everything has a graphics nowadays. Everything has a look, a feel, a brand. I was like, so I challenged her. I was like, dude, go learn how to Photoshop. Teach it to yourself. Whatever you have to do, teach how you do it. So now you can put it on a resume. You can make your resume look cool. It eye pops. You know what I'm saying? It makes a huge difference. And now instead of like she's working marketing and PR stuff, it's like now instead of what you're bringing to the table, everyone has ideas. Ideas are easy. I can come up with ideas every way. It's like how do you execute it? I hate idea people. I want people to execute. I can come up with ideas. I mean that's shit. If you need someone to do that, I can do that. I can come up with ideas. But people always look at me to execute it. So it's again problem solving. How do you do it? Like, this is a cool idea. Cool. Design it. Now, how do we implement it? How do we start it? How do we get it done? That's the biggest thing. If you can teach yourself some of those skills, like I teach myself how to make stuff look cool. I don't have the same skills, but I can make things look really professional. That's important. Teach yourself how to do that because she's getting offers all the time now because she has the hard working, she has all those communications, all that. Now she can also here these are things I designed. I'm not that great. I can get stuff done. And then now you can put your ideas on paper and make it look really cool. And that's huge. You know what I mean? So I think it's important because now she does a lot of social content and stuff like that for where she works, and it's like she can put that together. Here's my ideas. I can knock out these two things. Now I need someone to hire these things out instead of hiring out 100% of it. We need to hire out 50% of it. That makes you look more valuable. You're 50% of what you were going to pay out because graphic designers are expensive. So now, that makes her more valuable. Now if she ever leaves, now I got to do 50% more. I got to pay this company that designs this stuff up, my social content. So that's my biggest thing. I want some. That's what I tell my interns. We hire 5 interns in the summer to help us run summer camps. And that's the biggest thing. We bring on a couple of them throughout the year, just guys that are really good. But I'm trying to find, I just sent them out and said, I need this, and this done. Go. If you need me to go out there and tell you how to do it, you're no good today. I can do it myself, So problem solving is my biggest thing.
So along with problem solving, what's one thing you're looking to improve for NC State's football program? And how are you
operational wise? The answer good for your class would be different what I'd have. So we have a lot of new staff. We have I think 14 new hires this offseason, which is a lot. And that speaks highly because we success on the field, success in recruiting, success about what we do. There's a lot of aspects of this building. There's a lot of different departments around we're taken from this because we hire really well. The answer probably doesn't help you in the class is, the big thing I say in operations, something I'm always working on, is we got to bring staff together. And that's not like a written down thing in operations, but it's just kind of a code. Like people need to be feel comfortable going down to the office and talking, having a laugh if they need it, things like that. Answer your question, have a little communication, be good, move on your way. And that kind of staff cohesiveness. That's something I'm always working on, how we do that better. But that doesn't really help you out much. But I think operational wise, because we have all the staff is brand new, but then kind of like the heads of the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, me and coach, we've been here for so long, I kind of forget we have all these new coaches. So, and we've been here for 6 years. The heads of each area. You kind of forget, like, some of these guys don't realize, like we're just automatically going to summer camp, and it's like they don't necessarily know what that looks like and how that operates. So how do I got to kind of step back and I get in the mix and just go, okay, summer camp. It's like, how do we teach them or show them, like, okay, this is how we operate summer camps. We almost got to step back. Like, how do you put that together? Make sure they're aware of how we operate, different functions of the program. Because we kind of forget, like, just when you get in the mix of things, step back and go, well, he doesn't know, he has no idea how we operate summer camps. He's never been here before. Probably needs to take a step back and show them how we do this. So, probably need to do a better job of that. Just kind of, making sure these guys are aware. Because we were just so good, they're just so good. But yeah, those are probably the two biggest things right now.
Okay. So with like new coaching staff or office staff, along with, you said you hired 5 interns every summer.
Yeah.
I assume you're pretty close with them, or you can be considered a mentor. What is one lesson you want to kind of impart?
Yeah. I think it's a great question. Makes you look inward. I don't know if because I could be real, like, I guess I still have that coaching gene in me. So, I mean, I met with interns, first day I met with them, and the same thing, we hired student workers to help us run camps, so student equipment managers, student athletic trainers to help us fill the water, student ambassadors help us with recruiting and different things. So we hire all these different departments and students, and the first thing I tell them is, like, I'll lose, it's summer camp, we have 300, 400 kids coming through. I take it very seriously. I want everything to operate very smoothly, and I'm very informative and organized. So when people go outside that realm, when I told them how I want things to go, I lose my shit. And I tell them all that day one. I will probably lose my cool on somebody. And if I don't do that out of disrespect, and I don't do it out of misinformation, like, I'll lose my cool on you because I told you exactly how I wanted it done and in a timely manner. So if I didn't do that and I lose my crap on you, then I try not to do that. And I always like, that's my fault. Big thing with learning situation last year, I had some interns, and there was probably a couple of them that, like, I didn't trust to do things, and they weren't operating like I would tell them how I wanted doing this, and they weren't doing it, or maybe I didn't tell them all the information I needed to. So I never lost them on that. I sat down with my right hand man Reese, and I told him that, I was like, because he saw the same thing. They're not picking up the slack when they need to. Kind of like I'm hand-holding them to. They'd sit around. He didn't tell them exactly what they did. Just sit there, instead of trying to find something to do. And I said, this is on me because I'm not giving them the right information. If I did that and they still didn't do it, then I'm going to lose it on them because that's the expectation. So I think, like, I hope they walk away from here. Honestly, my retention rate on the interns is incredible. And I feel like I'm good to work with, but I'm still going to get out here. Like, it's kind of like the coaching thing. Like, players respect coaches that are hard on them if they're reasonable and the expectations there and trying to get the best out of them. Feel like they're getting that out of me, then you'd have to ask them. They always come back. They're always trying. I had to turn 2 away this year because it was just like, it was too many. I had 5, and they want like 2 more on the back. And I was like, I want them to realize, like, and I hope they take that, I guess, is like, I had an intern run a meeting once and made her do it because she I'm not going to name names, so she plays on the basketball team and she's the leader. And I said, because she kind of gave me a hard time because I swear, I'm loud, I'm this and this. I go, correct, you don't have to. I've heard that before. I'm a swearer, so I'm not going to change that. But you have to set the expectation. How you're going to do that. So how do you do that? You need to figure out how to do that. So I asked her to run a meeting. And we were all lined up, and I just sat back and watched, and they were all over the place. People were talking over here, and this and this, and I just looked down and like, take control of the meeting. But she was kind of confused. She's like, she couldn't get them all on track. And I was like, I got that. I slammed my fist on her. Listen, you gotta get them all locked in. I said, that's important for her to understand. Like if she's running a basketball team or whatever she's doing, there's sometimes you have to do that. Can you lead without doing that? Sure. I don't know how to do that, so that's not my style. But like, she needed to know that. I think that was a very big learning experience for her. Because that's not her style. But sometimes you gotta lock people in. Don't waste people's time. If they know you're wasting time, you're gonna lose them. Like lock them in, give them exactly what they need to do. Short to-do list. Here's my itinerary. You're not doing it. Now, if they're not accomplishing that, then you're gonna have bigger issues. And then you have to. That's when you have to cut bait with people. There's a time you're gonna have to get on people's ass. Like you have to figure that out. That's the hardest thing. And then actually do that is even harder because it's not always fun, especially on your personality. But you'll lose control of people if you don't do that. And again, there's other ways to do that. I'm not saying I'm the only way, but I think that's, I try to put these guys in different situations. I try to give them control of certain areas. I try to give people things to do and say, I want this operated. This is the expectation I have. I want to set up like this. How you accomplish this, I don't care. But I want it done. I'm all about production. Like, get that done. If it's not getting done, then again, you have issues. Why doesn't it get done? Is it something I did? That's the things to figure out. But I try to let them do it. That helps me out. So I just go, you got this, you got that, you got that, you got that, go. Come back and you have issues. And if you don't have issues, I expect it to be done exactly what I said. So, I don't know, that's a great question. I try to help them out, try to make them figure out. I try to make them problem solvers. I hope they get that out of it. How would you accomplish this? And I always bring back ideas. I get better.
So what's, looking back just throughout your whole life, what is the moment or scenario you're most proud of?
Whole life?
Whole life. Or career, I guess, if that's easier for you.
I don't know if like proud of going through. See, I was a walk-on in college, so I didn't get paid anything. I wasn't on scholarship or anything, and I stuck with it. That was hard. Still paying off my student loans, so proud that I stuck with it. That was not easy. Our walk-ons here, I love. We always respect what they do because it's not easy. It's not, man. You're paying your own way. You're trying to go through school. Typically, our walk-ons too are like really smart guys trying to engineering school, business school. They have big ambitions, and they're out here because they love the game. And I think sticking with that was I was pretty proud of that. Because there was days like, yeah, I did. There was a point in my career I was like, I'm never going to see the field. As a quarterback, you don't play well. And there was one year we had a competition. He was a young guy. He took it and ran with it. He set records. That was fantastic. We're all proud of him. It's like then you kind of sit and go like, okay, so my time here is not going to happen. And in today's world, which I don't blame anybody, the quickest thing is the transfer out. They're gone because you only get 1 4-year window to play this game. It's kind of weird, so like, I totally get transferring. I get it. You only get 4 footballs right here. I would say in basketball, you can go play rec league basketball and have time in your life and think you're in the NBA championship. You know what I mean? But like football, that's it. Like once you're done with college, you don't make it pros. Like you go play flag football. They're just totally different games now. So I would say that's probably my biggest. I'm proud of that. And, I graduated in 4 years there while doing that. maintain a 3.0, which I was proud of that. And, worked my ass off for that. Especially if I got a degree in finance, which I didn't really have after I picked it, I didn't really have an ambition for it. So that's tough too. When you don't, you're not gonna love every class you're gonna take, but like when I picked finance and started all those classes, doing all that, and you're like, I don't do this. And then it's like, shit, now you're too late. It's a great, the skill set I learned was fantastic. The financial background of budget sheets and time value money, all that's that's just great life skills in general. So I don't regret it. It was like when you're going through that, and then you realize, okay, I don't want to do this in my life. I want to do working athletics or football. It makes me look hard. And then you're like, I gotta get through this. And then get a master's degree, which I didn't, Lord knows I shouldn't, didn't know I was gonna get that. So that's even more difficult. So I'd say just getting through college, staying with it. I think it's pretty proud of that. I'm proud of being a walk-on. It's not easy. Because not like normal Joe, you can go get a job or extracurricular. It's football. And you basically pay to be on the team, and then it's hard. You can't really go get another job and help pay the bills. You student loan it up, or if your parents are fortunate to help you out, find work, just student loan it up, and so we'll figure it out one day.
So how do you think the game has changed now from when you were a player?
I think it's just from what I've seen is the commitment level. It seems like ages ago, but I was at a smaller, 1AA or FCS school, so it's very different. But it's like it's nonstop. It's year round. It's a full-time go. Now I'm talking about player-wise. It's a total commitment year round. And sometimes I feel bad for these guys because I think their biggest break was from the end of spring to summer one. And if you had late finals, you only got a week off. So these guys are fortunate, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks off. And we came back and we're right back at it. And then summer one ends, and I think finals are like Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday, and then we start school on Monday. It's like, and then they're right back at it. And then even summer two ends. Monday, Tuesday of that last week in July, and Monday, Tuesday, I believe August 1st is Thursday, and that's our first day of camp. So you have Wednesday off. And then fall camp, and we're done. Hopefully, make a bowl game in July or January. So it's nonstop. You can never learn enough. These guys are always in the film room. They're always working out. They're always training. Most of it's on their own. You just have to do all that your own. And I think that's the player side. The operational side, obviously, is just, as they're constantly here, our responsibilities are always on the go. So we're always in recruiting is the same way. So recruiting is never basically non-stop. So we're constantly going recruiting. We're constantly going operations. So when recruiting's rolling, we're still rolling operations because all the coaches are involved. So it just never ends, man. It just never. That's why I think it's kind of different. There's no real. It used to be more like a downtime.
Yeah.
And just really our downtime break is July nowadays. That's like our only time we have off. So we have camp all through June. Really that 4th of July week, different vacation weeks and things like that. But that's about it. August 1 comes rolling around and we're full go. So this is a lot. There's just a lot of. I think that's the biggest thing that's changed. Recruiting is sped up. And it kind of rolls everything into it.
So what is kind of like one issue you see with college football today on a national level? Or is there one?
I think there's little issues, things to fix up. I think that I think there's little, like, it's a classic talk of, to me, it's like NCAA, right? There's all these rules, and they're adequate rules and everything like that. It's a kind of classic thing of, are we going to go more regulation or more deregulation? Same thing in political world. More regulation, deregulation. Same deal. There's an argument for both, and that's why I really don't know. But it seems to me the NCAA is starting to push more towards. They're kind of sick of being called, like getting called out for having all these rules and calling people out for, and they can't regulate as much. So they're kind of like deregulating those. Like, you guys want to complain about these rules, then do whatever you want. And that can be good and bad. So I don't mind the rules. I think that again, the basis of everything is keep everything in a level playing field. It's just a tough one. That would be like my one. And I don't know the answer to it. Like, I can't complain about it because I don't know how to solve it. There's sometimes I think deregulation is better. Sometimes I think there's so many rules and just kind of like it makes life harder for no reason. But the reason they make these rules is because people have found loopholes. So I don't mind people find loopholes. I think it's smart. That's the problem solving people. So I don't really mind that. So that's the tough one. I just don't know I don't know how you fix it. I don't know if it's a real problem. It's kind of like, what route is the NCAA going to go with their rulings? Like, are we going to pull back, or are we going to keep it going? Because they'll come up with a brand, like a broad rule. Cool, everyone's in that confines, and then maybe one team or two teams will find a loophole, and then they come in with all these different rules now. Then eventually you'll find another loophole, and they'll come out with more rules, And that's why I think people are frustrated, and then they kind of they back off, and eventually they'll do whatever you want, Which is kind of nice, because they're not confined by all that, but then you got these teams again, they're trying to sneak around rules and things like that. So create the competitive advantage. So that's kind of a hard one right now, But then that's what sucks, because then they got there's these different things that Coach Norm can get docked for if there's enough rules are broken. He can it's a lot. Like, it doesn't happen, but like that's the thing. Like, all these minor penalties can add up, and eventually he can get suspended if that year got to the point. I'm talking to any coach, not Coach Norm. So that like gets you worried. But it's all these little minor violations. And sometimes that's the saying. Like, you have a rule, like when you don't realize you're breaking it. Well, that's what's kind of silly. And that's when they talk about the deregulation, because all these little rules. Like, if you're breaking a rule and you don't even realize it, like, that's kind of nuts. So they kind of that's the tough thing. I would say that's probably the biggest thing. Playing field stuff, I don't know. There's all these different rules. I'm not really too concerned about that. I think there's certain things with the player safety and stuff like that. Rules going in, heat safety and things like that. And I think that's important. And that's all good. But I can't really say what's one major problem. I think it's just hard. It's a full-time job. We have full-time compliance like just football. To make sure we can go to and ask about rules. And, that's what's kind of nuts about it. Looks like that. Yeah.
So you said this wasn't really your dream job, or you didn't expect to get it this soon, at this point. If you had an opportunity to say have like a more advanced job in the NFL, would you take it, and what would you like it to be?
So I get this a lot. Like, some people look at, like, again, everyone's different. There's certain people look at the NFL and say that's the cream, that's the top tier. I never looked at it like that. I don't know why. I never had a ambition to work in the NFL. It's never been my dream. I don't know. Now some people like, there's coaches that to them, right? That's when you made it. Yeah. I don't necessarily understand that as much. But again, that's a different perspective. That's what I mean. Like, if there's an NFL team or something like that, I mean, it would depend on what the job is. I have no idea. See, I never worked in the NFL, so like, I have no idea. Like, I've heard people love it. I've heard it's different. This is a different animal. Like, you're dealing with, it goes back to what we kind of originally said. My day is dealing with all these different things. It's like to kind of step away from that one day would be like different. It'd be totally weird. And that's what kind of the NFL is. I'm dealing with all these, off the field player needs and issues and things like that. Where in the NFL you might not be dealing with that as much, or if anything. Again, our guys are hamstrung on a lot of these rules and things like that. And, classes, and we're making sure they're going to class. We're on top of the grade point average, and we're making sure they're doing stuff in community service and all this stuff. And like, just a lot of different hands on everything. In the NFL, you're like, okay, they come in, they show up, they do their work, and then they leave. And then you kind of, that's it. That's their job. And that's why it kind of weird to step away from, like, oh, I want to make sure they went to school today. Like, that'd be bizarre. I'm not getting a grade report every week to make sure they're doing stuff. So that's what it's one of those things. Like, I don't know. I never had that drive. Like, I needed to go. I don't know. That's what I mean. It's kind of weird. Like, my career is trying to be a DFO. That's what's kind of bizarre. That just happened last month. So like, I didn't think last month. Yeah. So that's what's kind of like bizarre. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's next. I don't know what I'm doing in the NFL. I have no idea. I don't know if like my skill set is kind of have my hands on everything. You go to the NFL and you're just like, hey, you're just responsible for salary cap. Okay. What else do I do? So I don't know. I really don't. I don't look at the NFL like that. I never really. I don't know. Maybe it'd be different if I worked there once, but I never have. So I've always wanted to stay in college. I just like working with. I like working with this age group. They're fun. 18, right when they get out of high school. They're a little immature. They're fun. They're all juiced up, and then you kind of see them develop and mature. And I think that's really cool. You get to the NFL's a job, man. They're there for. They're there for the paycheck, and they go out and do their own thing. Endorsement commercials and all that. I don't know, but when it's here, you're totally invested into the university. This is your home. NFL, it's who's paying the check. Green Bay Packers, they pay my check, and I could be the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. It's like, well, I'm a Dallas Cowboy. Like, here, it's like, this is who you are. So you got your degree, it's your foundation. We're developing them, and there are core values. It's like, that's kind of neat, so just a different world. So,
as someone going or studying sports management, do you have any advice for me on how to become competitive?
You just gotta get experience. It's just hard. Like, I think you gotta just go and do stuff and see things. I think you gotta figure out what you want to be in. The experience will help you out in everything. I love talking to picking the soccer coach's brain about soccer camp because how they run it, I think it's really cool. You know what I mean? I don't know what football camp is or how we operate, but I like that. I mean, wrestling coaches staff comes over here like once every couple of months and talk about how we practice, how we do recruiting and things like that. You know, that's the same experience. Like it doesn't matter if you have it in this area or this area. It's like because that's a different perspective. That's why I like bringing interns from different areas. You get a lot of like our equipment kids and different kids want to come up and be interns with me. It's like I try to help them out, but like I want something fresh. I got a lacrosse guy that's interning for me just because I want something he brings to the table. I like to hear how they travel. What do they do unique? That's what the little tools I want. I think you got to experience things. You got to see different things. You got to get your hands in different things. Even our world football. Football. I mean, even game day. There's game operations people. There's marketing people. There's the concessions guy. We have a full-time concessions guy just handling all this. There's so many different areas. That we come together. The field crew. Making sure the turf's right. So there's all these different hands that come in together. So, the best thing I did, again, I knew I wanted to be in football, so I started out and became a GA, and I was coaching tight ends. Now, like I had this experience that I actually coach. I run a meeting, I coached on the field, I've done that. I also did the video editing, so when the practice film came in, game filming, I did all that as well. So now I have the video editing department. Those are 2 jobs here. I did both of those. I did recruiting as well. So I did recruiting. So again, how I promote myself is I've had my hands in all these different departments. So when a coach comes up and I play too, so that's an experience too. So when quarterback coach comes in and says, "Hey, this is this. I need this. I go, I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. He said my computer keeps glitching because I don't have the same hard drive. This and this. But if someone else goes, I don't know what that means. I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't have the RAM in your computer that's not playing the video correctly. You can't teach correctly. You can't coach correctly. Which I've been in that situation where you don't have the right film and you don't have the stuff like that. You can't pull up the place and you can tell you guys. So I'm bringing all that in because I've been there. That's the experience. Recruiting, same boat. What it takes to run an official business.
Now, unfortunately, at the end of the video, kind of got cut off because of my phone storage. However, that was pretty much the majority of the video, or of the interview. And for the interview, we were supposed to come up with at least 20 questions to ask a professional in a career that we're interested in. I know I didn't ask 20 questions, but with Mr. Roley's answers, he covered a lot of the questions that I would have done. This concludes the project. Thank you for watching.